Is the Honda Pilot the perfect 3-row SUV?
No.
No, it's not, but it's really close. We're gonna tell you what we think it would take to move it a little closer to perfection.
But first, here's how much the Honda Pilot costs.
We're driving the black edition of the Honda Pilot, which is a new trim for 2025. Interestingly, on the inside, what distinguishes the black edition from others is red. Perforated seats, and if you look through the perforations, there's some red. We also have red stitching, and there's red interior lighting. All that red lets you know you're driving the black edition.
Otherwise, it's a little bit on the simple and plain side. The real highlight here is storage, tons of storage in the door, a sauce pocket, room for a bottle. There's a huge bin here.
There's a little nook over here. I'm not even sure what it's for, but my hand kind of fits in it. In the center console, that's deep storage, and then there's like a little bin where you can put like pencils or pens and stuff. A nice big dedicated phone zone. One side is wireless charging, the other is not. The cup holders do not impede on the controls here, and I will note we have some physical controls here, which is increasingly rare in the modern era, and they do make that little nice clicky sound. That practicality extends to the second row as well. If you look in the doors, so much space to hide stuff.
Layer upon layer of storage.
For seating, I'm enjoying a lack of pressure points and just enough lateral support on our winding mountain roads. I find these to be comfortable seats. You?
They are definitely on the wide side, but comfortable.
All Honda Pilots come with 8-passenger seating except for the Trail Sport version. Seated behind my ideal front seat position, plenty of room in the second row. Seated behind my ideal second row position, plenty of room in the third row. One complaint about that third row though, in the middle position, there's like a little plastic thing kind of where my butt is. It's not a comfortable place to sit for me. But dimensionally, I have room for my knees, my feet have places to go, my head isn't touching even though I'm having a very poofy hair day. And there's a ton of flexibility with how you apportion space. The second row seats slide and recline. The third row seats also recline. Oh, and the second row seats do a really cool thing. Kiddo, tell them about that one-touch slide.
It's really simple. You just push a button and it slides.
There are 2 buttons. It's easy to come aboard, and if you're in the third row, push a button on the top of the seat and you can get right out. And that comes standard. Kiddo, what is it like climbing in and out of the Honda Pilot, both in the second and the third row?
It's really easy in the second row, and it's also really easy in the third row.
Yeah, there's a pretty wide aperture for climbing through, and they've got a very obvious wide place to put your feet when you're climbing in. So what we have is lots of space, and it's very easy to access that space. If I said space one more time, it would sound like I'm talking about space, the stuff that's outside of our atmosphere.
Let's just hope it's not like a Bloody Mary type situation where it like makes us go to space.
You know how like when you run out of ideas for content and then you like jump the shark either literally or metaphorically?
Yeah.
And going to space is always like the last step before you no longer have relevance?
Oh no.
We're not in space yet. Speaking of space, we have 18.6 cubic feet of cargo space behind the third row. That's plenty of room for cargo if you have people in the vehicle, but what really makes it work is that underfloor area, which is vast.
And has dividers. So you can either remove them and have one large space, or you can install them and have a space for that second row middle seat.
Minivans, right? A lot of times people just take out the second row middle seat so kids can climb down the center. In the Pilot, you can do that, but you also can keep the seat aboard the vehicle in case you need room for an 8th occupant. That middle seat is a little bit heavy, but it's got a built-in handle and it's not awkward by size to hold, so getting it in and out really isn't that bad.
Even I was able to do it.
Wow!
Also, that cargo floor is flippable, so it can either have the nice soft side or a hard plastic side in case you want to do something messy back there.
Are you talking about gutting fish again?
No, picnicking on raw fish.
Yay! This is where you discover we live like bears. The Pilot also includes a power rear hatch on all but the absolute base trim, and you will find a standard temporary spare tire, unless you go with the off-road oriented Trail Sport, and that has a full-size spare.
That's awesome, because that's the one I'd want it on.
Sweetie, what is the car seat situation?
There are 3 top tethers in the second and third row. In the second row, we have 3 sets of lower anchors, and in the third row, we have a set of lower anchors on the passenger side. I'm 5'2". Behind a workable front seat position, there is room for a rear-facing car seat in the second and third row.
As for safety, the NHTSA has rated this 5 stars overall. The IIHS has rated the Pilot a top safety pick, and we have 8 airbags plus a full suite of active driver assist technology standard family. What do we think? Is the Honda Pilot family friendly?
Family friendly.
Family friendly.
Yeah, big time family friendly. Rear window test. And all the way down. Wow. armrest test. Driving in a comfortable 8 and 4, very easy access to the inboard and outboard armrest. A little bit of stitching here, but I don't find it too abrasive on my delicate elbow skin. Solid squish factor both inboard and outboard. I'm going 85% in, 85% out. Moving onward to style. I find the look of the Honda Pilot to be inoffensive and enduring. It's not pushing major stylistic boundaries, but that also means that it is going to have a longer shelf life. If I was to dress like, let's say, Hollywood from the movie Mannequin, and I had crazy glasses on, and I was like
I love it. When is this happening?
Hopefully only once. If I showed up every video like that, you'd be like, what is that guy's problem?
I want to see what your problem is.
The point being that audacious style has a limited run. Something that's a little bit more tame will probably last a little bit longer.
I still think this is a quite handsome vehicle. The proportions on it are really nice. It really looks substantial.
If you want a Honda Pilot that's even more substantial, consider the Trail Sport. All-terrain tires, a little bit more rugged aesthetic on the outside, orange details that really pop, and it also has steel skid plates. So not only does it look a little bit more rugged, but it actually is a little bit more rugged and decently capable off-road. I mentioned that we're driving the Black Edition. I'm going to show you what makes the Black Edition, starting right here. See all this gloss black trim on this upper grille element? You got the Black Edition logo. You got Black Edition trim right here. These are 20-inch black wheels. You got black mirror caps, black roof rails, Black Edition badge down here below. And also, the Black Edition comes in 5 colors, only one of which is black. What do you think? It's about $1,500 versus the Elite trim. It's basically an Elite trim, but with a little bit more black trim. Do you think $1,500 is worth it? I should have mentioned that I'm wearing Kestrel Narrow Aviators in black, which nicely match the Black Edition theme. If you're curious why flying eyes are so great for pilots and motorcyclists, but also commuters who drive cars just like you, click the link in the description below. You can use the promo code Micah to save 10%. To us, the Honda Pilot is tame but tastefully styled. But what do you think? You like it? Do you dislike it? Tell us in the comments. Also, thank you for watching this video. You could be watching something else, and yet here you are hanging out with us. We appreciate it. Moving onward to In Motion. Man, I really like driving the Honda Pilot. The body is reasonably controlled over big undulations, so you're not like flopping around annoyingly, making passengers sick. But it also does a really good job getting rid of the harshness of the road. It has a balanced steering ratio, not too quick, not too slow, just kind of goes where you would expect it to go. The Pilot embodies the best of what Honda does, intuitive in the way it operates. The road manners really express that. I'm gonna floor it right now. Whee! You got a naturally aspirated V6 here, and it sounds good doing V6-y things. In terms of actual acceleration, there is enough, but there's not like a lot more than enough.
But enough.
Oh yeah, enough. Not a lot more than that though, just, enough. The V6 is paired with a 10-speed automatic transmission, and as I accelerate here, let's see if I can tell when it shifts. I was looking at the tach, so I knew when we shifted, but if you weren't listening and looking, you might not know.
I didn't notice.
We do have some drive modes to play
Don't
with.
you mean a load of drive modes?
I do mean that. Sport, normal, econ, I'll never use. Where it gets interesting is when you go over to like trail or sand mode, because the all-wheel drive system in the Honda Pilot is really quite advanced. It's a true torque vectoring rear differential, so it can overdrive the outside rear tires, and when you get into an off-road environment where there's more slip, that can be really useful for keeping the vehicle pointed where you want it to go. For maximum off-road capability, you'd want to go with the Trail Sport, but even a standard Honda Pilot in a loose environment, based on that differential, you're going to have a better chance of making it through slippery and tricky surfaces than you would in many other vehicles. And now one last test, I'm going to see if I can bring the Honda Pilot to a smooth, limo-like stop. So one thing I've noticed is it's a little hard to come to a perfect limo stop, but it's probably close enough for most people's needs. That's what I think about driving the Honda Pilot. What does Sweetie think? Evie's at the wheel. First challenge, accelerate briskly that direction. Would you feel confident getting ahead of traffic with that?
Heck yeah. So much that I actually noticed before you asked me just now.
Going naturally aspirated, you don't have to worry about a turbo building up boost. So you just kind of get that punch right off the line. Do you feel like you can manage the vehicle and can you see out?
I like visibility less. The pillars are really exceptionally thick, and I sit so far forward because I'm just 5'2" that this one is intruding into my vision a bit.
What do you mean just 5'2"? No, you're 5'2".
5'2".
5'2".
We actually do that when the cameras aren't running as well. That's a very normal thing for us. This is how we're normal.
Normal.
Normal. Leap blorp.
I see you're steering, sweetie. Not too heavy,
Not too heavy at all.
not too slow, not too fast.
Just right.
And then what about slow speed maneuverability? Do you feel comfortable, like, getting this thing to the grocery store and stuff?
I wasn't sure if I would. A 3-row SUV I generally find a little bit intimidating, but this was easy to steer. The 360 cam really helped me.
If we were in the market for a 3-row midsize family SUV, are there any game killers that would keep you from driving a Honda Pilot?
No game killers here.
Excellent. I'm getting back in the driver's seat. Moving onward to remarks. Infotainment. There's a standard 7-inch screen with wired Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. For all other trims beyond the base, you get this 9-inch screen with wireless smartphone connectivity.
I really like this infotainment. There are the buttons I'd want. There is a physical knob. The icons are brightly colored.
And they're reconfigurable. You can move these tiles around. So it's customizable, super easy to use, persistent submenus that are smart. The system will see what you use the most and put it down there at the bottom. Very easy to use. Over here in front of me as the driver, there is a standard 7-inch display, and then on the Elite and Black Edition trims, you get this larger screen. That's 10.2 inches of pure information.
I really appreciate how easy it is to see who has their seatbelt buckled.
Good job, everybody. We're buckled and safe. One family-friendly feature of the Honda Pilot is something called Cabin Talk. Child, can you hear me amplifying my voice to the rear speaker, talking to you? The system should be... Can you hear me?
Kinda.
Great.
Oh no, just kind of?
For a vehicle distributed over 3 rows, that's the kind of thing that might be helpful for asking the people in the 3rd row to do stuff and then having them ignore you. And now let's take a look under the hood in a test inspired by my buddy Brian. Here's how you open the hood on a Honda Pilot. Here's where you check the oil level. Here's where you can add oil. And over on the left side, that's where you add the washer fluid. And if you're wondering what the horn sounds like, all right, let's talk engine choices. The only engine is a 3.5 liter V6. If you want all-wheel drive, that'll be an extra $2,100. For fueling up, regular fuel is fine, and the only transmission is a 10-speed automatic. If you plan to tow, it maxes out at 3,500 pounds with front-wheel drive and 5,000 pounds with all-wheel drive.
Sweetie.
Yes.
Please share our trim recommendation.
I will. Our trim recommendation is which trim will give you the essential Honda Pilot features you'd regret not getting, but at the lowest possible price. The base sport trim covers the essentials like power heated front seats, 3-zone climate control, and smart key access. Actually, that's more than the essentials. But we'd spend an extra $3,300 for the EXL trim anyway. It adds a larger touchscreen, power liftgate, front and rear parking sensors, leather trimmed seats, that cool multifunction 2nd row middle seat, 3rd row USB ports, and the Cabin Talk in-car PA system. It's a lot more SUV for a comparatively modest sum. And because it's an SUV, we'd also add all-wheel drive. If you're ready to buy a Honda Pilot of your very own, click the Kelley Blue Book pricing link in the description below to learn what you can get from your current car for trade-in and what you should spend on a Honda Pilot. Returning to the original premise of this video, is the Honda Pilot perfect? No, that is a flawed premise. Perfection is impossible. But it's pretty dang close. Now, what do we think it would take to move this even closer to perfection? I have 4 things identified. Thing 1, a hybrid powertrain. I'd love to have a version of this that was a little bit more efficient. Thing number 2, I'd like a little bit bigger screen.
I think this works great.
I think it does work great, but I think it could also continue working great if it was a little bit more competitive with the other vehicles in the midsize SUV segment.
It's fine.
Thing 3, I think if they could add a little bit more daring style without sacrificing functionality, I would welcome that.
I would too.
And thing 4, the Honda Pilot's a little bit pricey. There are other mid-size 3-row SUVs you can get with more features for less money, which is a really convenient lead-in into competitors. One cheaper competitor versus the Honda Pilot would be the Kia Telluride. You might also consider the Toyota Grand Highlander, the Chevrolet Traverse, and the Hyundai Palisade. Did we miss any remarks? If so, tell us in the comments section. And now it is our daughter's time to shine. Child, can you tell us what is your favorite feature in the Honda Pilot?
The middle seat, because one, when you sit in it, it's really comfy, comfier than the other seats, I don't know why. And if you flip it down, you can go to Starbucks and get a pastry and a drink. Or you can go to McDonald's and get a lemonade and several things of nuggets.
Sadly, you've just had the crappy snacks Mommy brought.
Sweetie, a real mother would have crammed their child full of fast food and caffeine. What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Family, I think we've done a good job reviewing the Honda Pilot. May I have a 5? And a 5. And you. Come get your high five. Blammo!
I'm just reminding you, she brought me a beef stick instead of Starbucks.
That's kind of better, I guess. And now please enjoy our AI-generated synopsis song about the Honda Pilot.
Pull up in the Pilot, it's a solid ride. Not flashy, just a box that's built for the side. Got room for the crew, man, we fit all inside. Storage in the back, got the seats to slide.